This lesson is going to be about something that's called list comprehension, and it's a shortcut syntax to build a list from another list. Let's go back to the previous lesson where we were pulling in text from Gutenberg.org. I've got the text of Tale of Two Cities. I'm going to link to the previous video if you haven't watched that and you want to learn more about where to get this text and this processing, go there. So again, we're going to open it up, we're going to read it into all text, and then we're going to split it along the white space to get our basic words. Then we're going to use ASCII letters to go through and clean up the words by going through every letter in a word, and if that letter isn't in the ASCII letters list, don't put it in the clean word, and if that clean word has no length, don't put it into clean words. So there's a double loop here that's going on. And then finally, we want to sort it by going through each cleaned word and use the sorted keyword to sort that list alphabetically, and we get all the words in the original text sorted alphabetically. Now what I'm going to show you is a shortcut for this syntax here. So the purpose of this for list is simply to build another list. So we're looping through and we're appending to our list from the first list in a sorted order. So in Python, if you want to be Pythonic, they have a syntax for this. It's called list comprehension. And it's almost as if you're building a list within those square brackets. So here we go. We've got word for word in sorted clean words. Now if you look at this, you see the original for right here, and that's contained in this list comprehension. So within the square brackets, you're going to take your original for statement and put it at the end. And then since we are just appending word, we're not doing anything to it, we stick word here and say word for word in sorted clean words and set that equal to sorted words. So this one-liner is the equivalent of these three lines. It's worth getting used to this syntax because experienced Python programmers use this everywhere. You'll be expected to recognize this when you see it and go, oh, they're just building a list from clean words and sorting it. Now let's go to a little bit of a harder example. So here where we're trying to clean the words, we have an outer loop and an inner loop. The inner loop was for letter in word, and we were checking if that letter was in ASCII letters. And then we're actually joining it together. So this is a join syntax where we're building it. So notice here, I'm going to say empty string.join, which is what is happening at the very end of this loop here. And then within it, I'm going to use my square brackets, and I'm going to take, again, you'll see that for letter in words, for letter in word, because we have word coming up here. Then I have an if statement. So this is the other little trick you'll see here. If you're building a list from an original list and it's conditional, you will put the if statement at the end. So if letter in ASCII letters goes right here. And then it's just letter. I'm not doing anything to the letter. I'm just building a list of the letters in that word that are in the ASCII letters. And this is the syntax that you're going to see being used to do this. And so that eliminates 4 lines of code and builds a clean word equal this. Now in theory, I could stack this list in here and build a double list comprehension. I looked at it. It looked very ugly. It was very hard to tell what it was doing. So use it judiciously. This is supposed to make your code easier to read, easier to comprehend. And so if you find yourself stacking too much and then you don't know what it's doing, probably a bad idea. Just, leave it in the original list format or the for loop format. Here it is without the comments in there, and it's a lot shorter of a statement, and I feel like this is easier to read because I'm going for word in words. I'm getting a clean word, which is just joining together every letter that's in ASCII letters. And if clean word, if there's anything in it, then I'm going to append it to my clean words list up here. We're going to go through and I'm going to show you some examples and play with this. Here we are going through the words in clean words, and if the word starts with M, I want to put it in my M words. So again, I could have a for loop that would have an if that would only append if the word starts with M, but this syntax, once you start getting used to seeing it, is very compact and very easy to understand what it's doing. When I print that out, there's actually 6,370 M words, and here's the first 10 of them. Monsieur, Monsignor is one. I don't really know how you pronounce that one. Let's go to our next example. So here I'm going to do something to the word that comes out of sorted words. I'm going to uppercase it. And so notice anything I want to do to alter it, I put at this very first part. After I've gone through and said 4 word and sorted words, I'm going to uppercase it right here. And then when I grab it, you can see I've got all uppercase. Next example, we're going to do both an if and modify what comes back. So here we go, 4 word and sorted words. I'm going to filter here with if the word starts with U, so I only want my U words. I'm going to title case it. I'm going to do word.title. And we look at it, yes, the first letter of each word is uppercase now. In this example, I'm going to do 2 in a row. So first of all, I'm going to get words that start with the letter T, and that ends up being in my T words. Then I want to loop through and I want to find all the words that are in there exactly one time. So I'm filtering if T words, this list of all the T words, has a count of that word equal to 1. So this is my filter. And remember in the original for loop, my append would be inside this if statement. Then I want that word. I'm not going to do anything to it. Now when I do that, I have 287 words that appeared one time in the text. And it's odd words like table drawers, taciturn, taint. I'm not really sure what a taint is. It doesn't sound very nice. This is list comprehension. All I can say is go practice this now. Get comfortable doing this. Grab a bunch of text, look for weird words, look for weird Z words. Learn to filter and build new lists, or take a list and do an operation on everything in the list, like uppercase it, lowercase it. Learn and get comfortable with this. Subscribe if you want to keep getting lessons like this. I'm coming out with this content 3, 4, 5 times a week. I also have a bunch of shorts that are like top questions being asked on Stack Overflow. I answer them. If you learned something in this lesson, smash the like button so I can help more people. See you in the next one.